Hey all, a couple people have expressed some interest in some of the telescope making goodies that I have lying around. Sadly, this week was the memorial for Paul Zurkowski, who is my mentor in many things, including telescope making. Um, I thought I'd dust off something that I acquired from a generous donation from his family, and tell a tiny bit of a story. I'm sort of the opposite of Marie Kondo. I think that I have all sorts of items that call into my head stories and things that bring me joy well beyond their sort of physical nature. And what you have in front of you here is one of those kinds of things. These are a pair of spherometers, and this is an aluminum one that was the very first bit of machining I ever did on a lathe. And Paul Zurkowski was one of the guys who taught me how to do this. So for those of you who don't know what this gadget is, it's a spherometer. So it's used to measure the curve of a piece of glass as you're grinding it. And it's marked with a Sharpie saying that the radius of this inner race here is 1.471 inches. And using the micrometer, and which Paul donated this one to me, I'm sure. It basically measures the depth. You zero this out on a flat, and then you can measure the deviation that the central part of the mic shows to the planing, and using a little math, which actually is an interesting thing in and of itself, you can figure out what the radius of curvature for your mirror is. This is the very simplest way to do this. You can see that I've basically just taken some silicone cement to glue some ball bearings, 1/4-inch ones, I believe, into the race. So that just makes sure that each one of these is exactly equidistant from all from the center point. They don't need to be equidistant from each other, but they do need to be equidistant from the mic. Anyway, that's the story. Paul helped me build this one, and so it was really kind that I was able to acquire his one. His is made of brass, which makes it super heavy by comparison to mine, which is actually a benefit, because mine, as you tighten it down to touch the surface, you actually can walk it off of the existing thing. And you can see that his didn't do the cheat of race. He probably set this up on a I'm imagining, I wasn't around when he built this one, so I don't know, but I imagine he set this up on his mill and drilled this all super precisely. And anyway, and in it, you can see that he etched his radius on it, along with the improved formula that takes into account the size of the ball bearings as well. And he had a little flat that he can use to zero it out, so that's all in the same thing. In one of his very many camera bags or other, he collected all sorts of containers for things. So, and if you look on the back, he talks about it being the 3.5-inch spherometer plus mic, table, and flat. So that's his handwriting, so that will never get pulled off. I will treasure this. The one that I have, I don't use it all that often. I mean, in many cases, you really don't need to use it unless you're really serious about this stuff. But I do keep it on my shelf, and every time I look at it, I think of telescope making and all the fun that we've had doing it. So anyway, just a brief story about a friend and mentor, and one of the things that will forever remind me of him and of good times we had working together on building stuff. Hope you're all having a good day.